Good morning, and thank you to all the distinguished people that are here. You can't come to Elmira without first talking about Mark Twain. And Mark Twain was actually a commencement speaker at this college 2 times. I'm going to take the liberty of reading the entire transcript of his second commencement speech. My advice to all of you is simple: avoid debt, politicians, and long speeches. Good day. And he sat down. So I'm not going to loan you money, and I'm not a politician, and I'll try to keep this reasonably short. This is actually my graduation from Elmira too, because in 1974, the economy wasn't that good, and I came from a rather working class poor family, and I needed a job. So I got a job as an assistant manager at a Sherwin-Williams paint store and missed my own graduation. So this is my graduation as well as your graduation. When my classmates were getting their diplomas, I was probably mixing paint to match someone's kitchen curtains. So it's great to be here today. I wasn't at Sherwin Williams that long, and then I ended up at IBM. And I want to tell you just a brief story about an experience at IBM, which I think is relevant to all of you. I was asked to go to Ireland because there was a problem with a product launch, which I knew nothing about. But they thought I had some ability to solve problems. So I flew to Ireland on rather short notice. And what I discovered was that there were three perspectives on the launch of this product. The first perspective was by the American team, and they wanted to launch this product as quickly as possible to get in the market, get market share, take over this, and make it so competitors had a difficult time competing against us. And from his perspective, that made a lot of sense. The second perspective was different, and that was a Belgian team, and they had done all of the math. And if you know Belgians at all, they tend to be very exact in their mathematics. And they had worked out the exact formula for the perfect launch to make the most money, the most profit, the best margins, which was different than being first to market. There was a third group represented by the general manager of the plant in Ireland that would have to actually manufacture this device. And his perspective was different, and that is he did not want to hire a bunch of people into the plant in Ireland only to lay them off once the initial launch was over. He was more concerned about the people and how they would feel about that and his fellow Irishmen. And so what I realized is that these three truths were all contradictory. So I'm in the hotel in Ireland, and I'm thinking about this, and my thoughts went back to Elmira College. And I had to read, it was required reading to read the book 1984. If you've ever read that, to learn about the possibilities of socialism going out of control. But in that book, there is the hero of the book is Winston Smith. And Winston Smith has to learn in his head how to hold two contradictory truths in order to survive in this society. And I thought that's the same thing that I'm facing, except there's three truths. Each one of these perspectives is true from your own personal perspective, your worldview, but they have difficult time coexisting. And so my solution was, now that my experience at Elmira helped me see the problem, my experience at Elmira also helped me see the solution. In a sociology class, which I was not required, but I took voluntarily, I had learned the whole idea of the Socratic method and active inquiry. So I brought the three groups together, and I realized that having too many people in the room was a problem. So I got the leads from the three, and just as you went to the branch office last night, I took them to a pub in Ireland. And in a pub in Ireland, over some good Irish beer, we were able to describe our truths as we saw them from our different perspectives, but also to ask questions to understand the truth of the other people. And out of that, we were able to find a solution, which actually ended up working well for IBM, and for all three of them, and for the people of Ireland. So that moment, I realized that was 12 years after I had left Elmira. But that moment came where my Elmira experience had helped me actually solve a very difficult and complex problem. So, why do I tell you this story? I tell you this story for two reasons. First one is for all the graduates, and that is you will come across a moment, could be 5 days from now, could be 5 years from now, when you're going to face some life challenge, some business challenge, some relationship challenge. And all of a sudden, you're going to think back to your moments and your time in Elmira, and you're going to say, I have an insight into this that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't gone to this college. The other people, to all of us, I want you to think about this story in a different way, and that is this country is in a time of distress, and we'll get through it. But right now, we all see our truths from our own perspective, whether that's political party, whether it's generational, whether it's regional. We all have our own truths, but there are many other truths out there. So nowhere is this more evident than in education. And if you look at colleges like Elmira, they faced over the last 9, 10 years some very difficult times. And different people had different ideas of what the truth was for the Elmira College to go forward. Some people thought it should stay with its roots as a strong liberal arts college and just stay the course. That's why this building was built in 1855. So stay with that mission. Other people said, no, the world has changed and we should be focused on preparing people for jobs. We should become vocational. We should become functionally oriented. And there's some truth to that. Other people said, you know what the problem is? Education isn't run business like. It should be run like a business. If you just did things that way, then everything would be fine. And other people said, you know, it's really about the students and that should have the ROI of the students. And I mean, the return on investment. And you put 4 years of hard work, but also a lot of money into this. And so, to what degree can you benefit from that later in life? And that is also true. So, my hat's off to particularly President Lindsay, but also the entire team and the Board of Trustees that they were wise enough to see that all four of these are true. And they have negotiated the very difficult, rough waters to bring this college to where it is today and for you to be sitting here. And that is all four of those objectives have been accomplished. Now, I believe that's true, but I'm also aware that maybe I see the world through rose colored glasses because I love Elmira so much. So I actually went and did a little bit of research. And of course, the place to go is the um, US News and World Report that analyzes colleges across this country in a set of objective measurements. And so I just want to tell you three of them. You probably already know these, but I just want to remind you how good a place this is. And that is Elmira College in the US News and World Report Best Colleges Survey. We are number 8 out of 550 regional colleges in the North. We are number 3 in best value schools and number 7 in top performers in terms of social mobility, your ability to get ahead in life. But that's just US News and World Report. So I went to the font of all information and knowledge, and that is ChatGPT. And this is what ChatGPT said about our place. If you're looking for a personalized career focused education, Elmira can be a great option. Elmira is best suited for students who want a small, close knit liberal arts college with personalized attention, a career focused education with internships and job placement support, strong programs in business, education, and nursing, and a history and a tradition rich college experience. And I think you've gotten that. So I want to close not with Samuel Clemens, but with if you look at this statue over to my left, you're right, and that is his wife, Olivia Langdon Clemens, and what she said about this institution because she was an alumni like you, and she said, "Elmira College is a little piece of heaven on earth. God bless this place." Thank you.